Jack and the Beanstalk, Ascension, Theft, and Sky Realms. Welcome back. I'm Adeline Atlas, 11-time published author, and this is the Symbolism series. You're watching the Redacted Magic and the Fairy Tale Code subseries. Today's case study is Jack and the Beanstalk. Most people remember it as the story of a boy who trades a cow for magic beans, climbs a beanstalk, and steals treasure from a giant. But beneath the folktale is a layered magical system, one that encodes vertical ascension, forbidden realms, frequency theft, and the dangers of breaking dimensional boundaries without initiation. This is Ascension, Theft, and Sky Realms. The earliest published version of Jack and the Beanstalk comes from 1734 under the title The Story of Jack Spriggins and the Enchanted Bean. But it was the 1807 version by Benjamin Tabart, and later the 1890 rewrite by Joseph Jacobs, that shaped the version most children now know. However, this tale existed long before it was printed, passed down through British oral tradition, especially in areas rich in Celtic and Druidic storytelling. And as with all old tales, it was never just entertainment. It was instruction. Let's walk through the basic plot. Jack is a poor boy living with his widowed mother. They own a cow, their only source of income. When the cow stops giving milk, Jack is told to sell it. On the way to market, he meets a mysterious man who offers him magic beans in exchange for the cow. Jack agrees. His mother is furious and throws the beans out the window. Overnight, a giant beanstalk grows, reaching into the clouds. Jack climbs it and discovers a castle in the sky inhabited by a giant. He steals a bag of gold, then returns and steals a golden egg-laying hen, and finally, a magic harp that sings. During the final theft, he is chased, climbs down, chops down the beanstalk, and kills the giant. That's the sanitized version. But look at it again. A boy trades earthbound survival, the cow, for upward access, the beans. He climbs a plant that pierces dimensional space. He enters a higher realm, steals frequency tools, and kills a guardian. This is not random, it's ritual. Let's decode from the beginning. First, the cow. In nearly all ancient systems, the cow is sacred. In Egypt, India, and Indo-European cultures, cows represent sustenance, the divine feminine, nourishment, and the Earth Mother. To trade the cow is to trade the earth. To give up the cow is to sever oneself from rooted, cyclical, organic survival. Jack surrenders his last tether to earth-based life, and in return, receives beans. The beans are not just seeds, they're frequency carriers. In esoteric traditions, beans often appear in initiatory diets, fertility rites, and spirit communication. Their shape resembles the embryo, the eye, or a cosmic seed. The fact that they are magic implies they are encoded with transformation codes. When Jack's mother throws them away in anger, she plays the role of the suppressive authority, rejecting mystical tools in favor of practical survival. But the beans take root, and they grow overnight into a towering plant that reaches the sky. Let's stop there. The beanstalk is a vertical portal. In spiritual cosmology, vertical movement is movement between realms. In shamanic journeys, the axis mundi, a cosmic tree or pole, connects earth, heaven, and underworld. Jack's beanstalk is such a structure. It bridges earth to sky, matter to ether, but it appears without initiation. Jack did not earn access. He stumbled into it. This is key. Ascension without grounding is always dangerous. Now comes the ascent. Jack climbs the stalk. The higher he goes, the less human the world becomes. He enters a cloud realm, symbolic of air, thought, spirit, and the mental plane. In magical cosmology, this is the astral layer, the in-between zone where beings of power dwell. There he finds a castle, another key symbol. The castle in the sky is not just a residence, it is a temple, a vault, a dimensional stronghold, and inside it lives the giant. The giant is not simply big, he is a guardian archetype. In nearly every mythic system, giants guard treasures, gates, or divine tools. They are often portrayed as monstrous, but they function as threshold beings. They test the uninitiated. They block access to power that has not been earned. Think of the Cyclops in Homer, the frost giants of Norse myth, or Goliath in the Bible. These figures mark spiritual boundaries. To defeat or outwit them is to claim unauthorized access. Jack sneaks in, not once, but 3 times. Each time, he steals a different frequency tool. A bag of gold, symbolic of base wealth, earth energy, and material stability. He brings this first. It is the lowest level treasure. A hen that lays golden eggs, a self-replenishing life force. Not just gold, but continuous generation. This symbolizes access to a living stream of prosperity, like fertility or creative fire. A harp that sings, this is a sonic instrument. Sound, in magical systems, is frequency architecture. The harp symbolizes access to harmony, spell setting, emotional manipulation, and spiritual vibration. This is the highest of the 3. The first 2 times, Jack escapes unseen. But when he takes the harp, it cries out. This is not a narrative convenience, it's magical law. Sound carries intent. The harp's cry is an alarm in the vibrational field. It announces the theft to the realm. The giant chases Jack down the beanstalk. Jack reaches the bottom, chops down the stalk, and the giant falls to his death. Let's pause. This ending has often been retold as triumph, but in symbolic logic, it's a spiritual trespass. Jack was not invited. He accessed sacred space through stolen code. He killed a guardian, and then he returned with tools meant for higher beings. In many magical systems, this would be karma-inducing theft. But why is this tale so celebrated? Because it encodes a rebel path to power. In folklore, Jack is the trickster hero. He gains access to tools he was never supposed to have. He beats the system. But in deeper analysis, this reflects a dangerous teaching, that power can be taken without consequence, that frequency tools can be looted from higher planes, and that guardians are enemies. This inversion is what modern versions emphasize. In earlier oral versions, Jack's morality was questioned. In some, the giant is revealed to have stolen the treasure from Jack's family, justifying the theft. But this justification didn't appear in many versions until Victorian morality began requiring clear good guys and bad guys. Prior to that, the story was more ambiguous, framing Jack's actions as bold but not blameless. Let's now examine the 3 stolen items as frequency tools. Gold coins are static. They are wealth, but not generative. Golden eggs represent recurring value, creation through a line source. The harp is sound technology. It influences mood, harmony, time, and memory. In many esoteric systems, sound is the highest technology. It predates language, forms matter, and controls consciousness. By stealing the harp, Jack doesn't just steal music. He takes a reality-shaping instrument. That's why the harp speaks. That's why the realm responds. The final act, cutting the beanstalk, severs the connection between the realms. This has layered meaning. First, it prevents retaliation. Second, it closes the portal. Third, it isolates the stolen tools in the lower world, meaning they now exist out of context, no longer supported by the realm that created them. This reflects a deeper magical principle. When you pull sacred tools into a field not prepared to hold them, they become unstable. The tools might work, but they carry energetic residue. Jack brings home the treasures. He and his mother live comfortably. The story ends. But what's left unsaid is critical. Where did the beans come from? Who gave them to Jack? What was their agenda? Why were these tools even accessible to someone like him? In many older traditions, trickster energy is not chaotic, it's instructional. Jack may be a disruptor, but his disruption reveals a truth, that boundaries between worlds can be pierced, but only at great cost. Let's summarize the spiritual code embedded in Jack and the Beanstalk. The cow, earth-based survival, divine feminine, sacrifice of rootedness. The beans, frequency seeds, initiatory codes, vertical access. The Beanstalk, axis mundi, dimensional bridge, unauthorized ascension. The castle, vault, temple, higher realm guarded by a frequency keeper. The giant, threshold guardian, protector of spiritual technologies. Gold, fixed resource. Hen, generative energy. Harp, vibrational architecture. The harp's cry, energetic alarm, field alert. Cutting the stalk, closing the gate, isolating the prize. This story is not a tale of triumph. It's a coded manual about frequency theft, how spiritual tools can be taken without permission, how guardians can be bypassed, and how realms can be severed. And when children are taught this story as victory, they internalize the inversion, that it's noble to steal from the sky, heroic to silence the harp, justified to kill the giant. The tale becomes not a caution, but a blueprint for spiritual bypassing. Jack is not the hero. He is the taker. And the giant is not the villain. He is the one who is holding the music. Hi, I'm Adeline Atlas. 11 times published author and School of Soul has just released one of our most requested deep dives, the Magic and Occult series. This series is not for the faint of heart. It's for those who know there's more going on beneath the surface, behind the media, behind the family, behind the system. This series breaks the spell and hands you the map. The Magic and Occult series includes over 200 videos on 1. Entertainment or ritual. Decoding mainstream media as mass spellwork. 2. Occult families. Spot them. How generational magic and ritual lineage hides in plain sight. 3. Occult symbolism. The signs, seals, and signals used to claim, curse, or command. 4. Esoteric symbolism. Layered meaning, sacred geometry, and encoded messages. 5. Law is magic. How contracts, courts, and language are rituals of power. 6. Spells and spirits. What magic really is, and what happens when you use it. 7. Covens and lodges. Where modern ritual happens, and who's involved. 8. Destiny swapping. How rituals steal timelines, talent, or soul contracts. 9. Energy harvesting. Spiritual parasitism, and how to seal your field. 10. The clairs. Your intuitive senses. Clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, and more. 11. Become magical. How to strengthen your gifts, protect your mind, and wield conscious force. 12. Miracles are real, divine intervention, faith portals, and supernatural reversals. 13. The chosen ones, what sets them apart and why they're always targeted. 14. The black sheep, the generational breaker, often isolated by design. 15. Targeted individuals, spiritual and technological targeting of aware souls. 16. Gang stalking, organized spiritual and psychological warfare. This is the most revealing, most spiritually advanced, and most protective series SOS has ever released. If you've ever felt something was off about this world, this will confirm it and prepare you for what comes next. Your protection begins with knowledge. Join the SOS School of Sos Vault.